Good afternoon, everybody. It's finally Friday. We made it through the week. It is Friday, March 10th, and I'm exhausted. I'm ready to go to bed. So let's get started with this one. Jagger, this one's for you. So you've heard me mention Battlezone Wrestling last week and probably through a few other stories. And you've definitely heard me mention Stan Sweetan. And when I tell you this is one of the guys that when we first met, it was like unstoppable with both of us. The shenanigans that we got into and we did to each other, to other people, and just the friendship, the brotherhood. I watched his kids grow up. I love them people to death. Look, like I said before, I think I've said this before. Stan and I can go months without talking, and as soon as my phone rings, I know we're going to be crying before we hanging up the phone by laughing at each other so much. And it's just one of those guys, you go right back to where you left off. So we would just do all kinds of things to each other while we were in the ring together. While we were going out the curtain, we'd try to de-pants each other, just stupid, childish stuff that just made the night so much better every time we were together. But man, we used to have a blast together, travel on the roads together. We've wrestled each other so many times. And when I say he's the type of friend you could walk in the ring, look at him, punch him square in the face, and you knew what kind of match you were going to have. Just by the first hit that he would hit me or I would hit him. And, people can say wrestling's fake all they want, but when you got guys that are in that ring that have mutual respect for each other, like I said, I could walk in a ring and punch him as hard as I could in his forehead, and he'd be like, it's on. And we'd beat the snot out of each other the whole match. Get in the back and hug like nothing ever happened. Those are the types of matches and those are the type of guys that I like to be in a ring with. And throughout my whole journey. So this particular night, we wrestled Battlezone show, and it was in Raleigh, Mississippi. And it was a building big enough probably to hold about 300 people, but I think there was like 30 people there that night. I don't know. It's somewhere between 300 and 30. Let's put it to you that way. I think it was more 30. But anyway, we were the second match. First match went out there and somehow broke the ring. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to speak badly on people who do break rings because I've been known to break a few rings myself just by taking bumps and cracking wood under the ring, hitting the rope so hard that the ropes break. I think I've broken so many rings in my time. Just by hitting, just because rings, a lot of people don't take care of their rings. And when big guys like myself at 350, 300 pounds starts bouncing around and things tend to happen. So anyway, two guys go out there the first match and somehow the second rope and the bottom rope gets torn off the ring. The only thing on there is the top rope. So now what are we going to do? They can't get it fixed. Show just started. So I looked at Stan. I said, we wrestled each other tonight. I'm going, what we doing? He goes, follow me. I said, okay. He goes, we're going to have those people going nuts and we're not going to do a damn thing. I said, I'm following your lead. So we have our entrances. We get in the ring and we kind of looking around, first just one rope on the ring. What we going to do? So ref starts the match and we circle him and we lock up. And he says, stay locked up with me. So we locked up and we going back and forth. We go rope to rope. Now we get to the rope and we start spinning. I got the better of him. He gets the better of me. Got the better of him. We go into all four corners like that. Then we break off. We look at each other. The ref's like, well, what y'all gonna do? We get right back into the lockup. Boom. He puts his leg behind mine, trips me. We still locked up on the mat. We roll out the ring, locked up still. When I say lock up, collar and elbow lock up, collar and elbow tie up. That's how we were the whole time. We roll out the ring onto the floor, stand up, still locked up, back and forth. I get the better of him, he gets the better of me. We go all the way around the ring again. And then we take it to the crowd. We go outside the crowd, all the way around the back chairs. As we going through the back chairs, there's a stage. So I start guiding him towards the stage. Like he's asking, what are you doing? I said, worry about it. I put him on a stage and I start screaming. And I take him. We still, and I never broke the collar and elbow lockup. We still locked up. And the fans are just going ape. They going crazy. I drag him completely across the stage, still locked up. I even grab a bottle of water, open it up, and pour it on him because that's the kind of stuff we did to each other. We would do things to each other when nobody ever saw. Like, he'd put me in a headlock and stick his fingers up my nose or give me a wet willy or something where we would mess with each other the whole time. So I poured a whole bottle of water on him, drug him completely across the stage, come back, locked up still. We get back into the ring, roll into the ring, still locked up. We stand up. We both power off each other, break the lockup. I turn to the ref. What are you doing? You're not even controlling this match. He schoolboys me, pins me, 1, 2, 3. I jump up. He jumps up. I look at the ref and go, did you see he pulled my hair? Turn around. We lock up again. Collar and elbow. Lock up again. We drop to the mat, roll under the top rope, out the ring, onto the floor, all the way to the locker room. Locked up. That was it. The referee counted us out. Got to 10. I never laughed so hard during a match in my life. The fans were going nuts. They loved every minute of it. And we did nothing. We worked a lockup for about 10 minutes. A collar and elbow lockup for 10 minutes. And the fans were going nuts. And that right there is what it's about. It's a story that the fans can understand. And we did nothing and we kept the fans in it the whole time. You know, when you have a match and you listen to the fans, when they start dying, then you start going to, all right, we need to finish this match. At that point, they were going nuts all the way to the locker room. So we get in the locker room and they try to fix the ring again. So the next match goes out there, and the next match is standing in the middle ring. And of course, they're not gonna do any better than we did with one rope around the ring. They're not gonna do any better. They can't. So they're kind of looking at each other confused. And these guys were just getting into the business themselves, and they had no clue how to wrestle with 3 ropes on a ring, much less anything. I like how to adapt to a situation. Luckily, Stan was there to help me adapt because we adapted very well. So this match is about to start. The bell rings and they go to lock up. When they go to lock up, Stan and I bang out the locker room, come out the locker room, still locked up. Fighting back and forth. I get the better of him. He gets the better of me. We're locked up in the collar and elbow still. We roll in the ring, roll in between the two guys, roll out the other side, back into the locker room. That was it. The fans went nuts. It didn't matter what those other 2 guys did after that. They were just, and we were laughing the whole time. So, like I said, when you can go to a show and have a blast and adapt to situations that happen, like when the ropes break, or something happens, you can't just stop and be like, okay, let's go to the back. You have to do something. There was one instance where Kevin Northcutt got Irish ripped into the ropes by Doink the Clown, and the ropes broke. Kevin Northcutt ended up on the ground. Doink just went. He turned to the crowd and he double biceps. just you gotta adapt, and that's what we did, and we adapted very well. It was funny. So last year, about a year and a half ago, I got booked again in Raleigh, Mississippi, and I didn't put two and two together until I pulled up at the building and I walked through the two doors, and I looked up and I went, "Oh shit. This is the building that Stan and I worked a 10-minute lockup," and I had to call him. I called him, but we started dying laughing when he found out where I was. So, man, that was one of my favorite matches I ever had, and did nothing. And kept the fans in it. They had a blast. They loved it. And I talked about it that night when I went back about a year and a half ago, and some of the guys were there, and they were like, "Man, we still talk about this to this day." I said, "We do too," because it's just one of my favorites. And like I said, it's always so much easier when you're out there with somebody that you trust and somebody you can have a blast with. And fortunately, I got to get in there with a few guys that were like that, and Stan's one of them. Stan's family to me. Like I said, I watched his kids grow up. He watched my kids grow up. Our kids grew up together. They still best of friends. Real good friends today. They still keep in touch with each other. And when Stan and I aren't working, we try to get together. So this one's about 11 and a half. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope y'all are enjoying these. I'm having a blast doing it. I'm not sure of any indie shows going on around here or within the area this weekend. Shame on me for not doing this before, but I'm not sure. But look, if you in any area with indie shows, go check them out. Share, comment, like, post, repost, whatever you call it. Please do it. I'd like to get some more people subscribed to me, some more people to listen up and listen to these stories, because I think this is something that I'm doing that's a little bit different than what everybody else does. Peace. Thank y'all.